Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Two Hit KO podcast, episode 12. We are finally back. I'm joined by my co-host, King05, right over there. Say hello. Reintroduce yourself.
Everybody?
And we're joined by special guest, the man himself, LOQP. Do you want to say hi? Give a quick intro for yourself.
Oh, what's up, everybody? I guess I'll let you guys do the intro.
All right, L5, you take it away. I'm taking a sip of coffee.
Yes,
Go ahead. List off the accolades while he sits there with his arms crossed, like, yeah, that's me.
So this guy, kind of captained one of the most dominant seasons ever in Clash of Kings, way back in the day, what was it, 2020?
It's COVID, yeah.
Yeah. So he has that bubble chip. Really impressive performance there. We'll talk about it later. But then you took a really big break, right? And then you came back pretty recently. And
in the last year.
Haven't missed a beat. It's been pretty great to watch you.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very very, very DPL focused episode. Obviously, since last time we did an episode, I think we were Captain Apps were about to come out the last time we did an episode. And we're already just, at least at the time of recording this, and by the time you guys will see this, completely done with week 2. So this will be kind of a little bit of a recap of a lot of stuff there. We'll talk about some Wi-Fi stuff as well, whether it be BBR, SPL. We'll talk a little bit about the Emerald Open as well, which we talked about with Kaz last time on the podcast. So you guys do enjoy today's episode and the return to 2KO. Be sure to drop a like in the video as well as subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know you like it so we can keep doing it. And let me know in the comments too if you have any ideas for guests, people that you'd like to see. Let me know. It helps us out and kind of, figuring out what we want to do for the next episode and things of the sort. But with that being said, we usually kind of like to start off with the news before we get into the guest-specific stuff. Really quickly, let's jump right over to that. Bam! First up, and LOQP, you can talk about this a little bit as, I don't know if you just played or if you captained as well, but Draft League World Cup, I think you just played, right? Canada ended up winning. So do you want to give us a little insight on that, how the tour went, things like that? You guys had a pretty great run there.
Yes, super smooth is how I can summarize it. I don't think there's a single week we had adversity. Our closest week was in pools versus L5's team. We beat them 5-3. Other than that, it was just a cruise. I think everybody could pretty much play, prep on their own. Everybody was super active. We'd have VCs. It's just great team environment. I know the guys that live near Toronto had a little meetup.
Oh, that's really cool. That's dope.
Unfortunately, couldn't make it because I'm a little further away. Wish I was there though.
That's dope, and that always contributes to a team doing well, is having a good team environment, especially in these tournaments. Who did you guys play in finals again? Remind me.
We played UK.
UK? Oh yeah, so another strong team. Yeah. It's cool to see Canada take it home too. I remember Draft League World Cup 1, which I was a little bit more tapped into, paying attention wise. Canada was seen as far and above a favorite, and I don't think it was any different going into this, if I'm right, L5? It was pretty.
Well, there was
a lot of great teams,
4 super teams.
Yeah,
there was 3 or 4
them.
super teams. One of them actually went out in pools, which was Northeast, and then us, US West versus Canada, was a super team matchup in the first round of playoffs. They ended up winning out against us again in that, and so we were eliminated, only losing to the champs. So unlucky, but the other super team was probably Rest of the World, which actually lost in a major upset versus UK in the semifinals. So that was kind of crazy.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, Canada obviously deserved it. I joined their team server towards the end. Great vibes, all that. I didn't help too much.
Yeah,
but
that's what I've heard about it. From people from other teams that joined us. It was the vibes, activity, the effort that everybody was putting in. And I think a big difference that we had is since we were so dominant, every round we had a break week because every other series was going to tiebreakers, and ours wasn't.
Oh so yeah, let's see. Prefer really keep fresh kind of idea, right?
Yeah.
Going into playoffs, etc.
Right? Everybody was eager to play. On Mondays, you'd get mocks on Mondays, with teams builds, and just great experience.
I know sometimes people say they don't want to break week because it messes with the momentum or something. I didn't see that in your server at all.
Yes. Honestly, we want we didn't want them.
Prefer to be done earlier.
They helped us win, but we didn't want them because we wanted to play. I think the big thing too, we didn't want them because DPL was starting, right? We didn't want we didn't want to have the finals interfere with DPL, which ended up happening, and for us that we're in the finals and DPL2 made
Busy
That's
as
a
week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
it's like I can't wait for the break week.
Yeah.
Now start off fresh in week 4. It's been
Yeah.
very exhausting.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
prepping for finals during like drafting week, which I think
Yeah.
is, for me personally, the most time
Yeah.
extensive. Is that the
Then
word?
you get into week 1, right? So
Intensive.
you play your
Intensive.
finals
Yeah.
game, like you do the drafting, and then you get into week 1 already, and like you scheduling for DP. Like
Yeah.
Well, and
You
with
gotta
these like
do-
with these tournaments, like they're a slog, man. Like even if it's just a shorter one, like Draft League World Cup, which like grand scheme compared to like a lot of these larger team tournaments, at least if I'm remembering right, isn't as long. But like it's also nice to probably have a little break in between them, right? So you can kind of like
Mhm.
refuel the tank and get ready to go for the
It's-
next go.
yeah,
It's really hard to schedule for like a team tour that's not on Smogon because they have World Cup and DCL exactly 6 months apart. So you have to go in the gaps, and if something goes to like 4 tie breaks, it's gonna interfere. Like there's nothing you can do.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit rough for that. I wish they would like maybe like do 2/3 and then leave a spot in the middle for DPL. But hey, that's just me.
Big smoke
Hey,
on,
word
man. They're
out-
gonna make you work
word
around that
out.
little guy. Yeah.
words out to Smogon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
really
obviously pretty
dominant
cool
World
stuff with
Cup
Draft League World Cup. Huh?
Mhm.
Oh
Great
yeah.
experience. I think and you can't really put the dominance on like anyone in particular. I think it's like the whole team.
The whole
Like,
team,
everybody was good. Yeah.
Everyone was doing great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Again, looks like pretty dominant to the point where you didn't have to play a couple of your games in finals. It looks like,
Yeah,
or at least they
yeah.
weren't reporting on the dock, so they're
No,
seriously
they were
excited
at
by
that
that.
game. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Otherwise, news-wise, we obviously have BBR ongoing. I am not currently playing in it myself because, fortunately, I do have to go outside a little bit. Can't play in 2 Wi-Fi leagues, but we do have someone in the call who is playing in it. Playing in a Wi-Fi league that I'm not playing in. Wi-Fi extraordinaire, Wi-Fi warrior himself, King L5. Really briefly, other than the inconvenience of having to like physically do things and not just play on Showdown, how is the run been so far? And do you want to tell people the little kill deal bet we have going?
So the bet is I have to get like 20 kills in this regular season, and I get some gifties, some gifted
Oh
subs.
man, some money.
And this is a bet that's been added onto by some viewers as well. So there's some real money on the line.
Yeah, I
And
think
so
I'm
I've
only.
been
I was
going
like,
out
fuck,
of
I'll
my
give you
way.
$20. You get 20 kills with Keldeo. Sure,
Yeah.
man. Like, here you go.
So
And I
I've
think
been
a couple
going-
other people matched me. So I mean, shit, that's
Yeah.
nice, you know.
Right? So I've been going kind of out of my way to try to get Keldeo kills this season, and it's number 1 in the MVP standings right now.
Mhm.
15 kills. I guess a little bit of spoiler, right? I guess this is
Hey, we
going
won't say what
Wednesday.
happened in your next game, but
Hey.
you totally did say how many kills Keldeo got in your next game. People could go
We
do
did
the
just say
math.
it.
I don't think
Yeah.
we have a fan doc for this though, so it'd be very hard for people to
Yeah.
even fucking go ahead.
Yeah, it's
If
all
you want to
good.
figure that out, go ahead.
I'm not too pressed about
Yeah.
it. But
Okay, go ahead.
VBR in general, it's been like interesting, right? There was a few weeks where my capture card didn't work, so I was playing through someone else, just like VCing and saying my plays, and they're the ones clicking it, which is a little bit scuffed.
Dude,
And then
especially
my
because you did
capture
it to who's playing like super
Yeah.
hard balance. The game was like an hour
That was
and a
an
half.
hour long.
Yeah,
That
like,
so
it
messed
was-
up.
Dude, imagine having to play like Hydrapple, Aloe, Claude, all this shit, and then having to watch their 30-second animation of them clicking spikes or flip turn.
I
And
know,
instead
man,
of just going
it's-
skip button.
That was
you
the
know?
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I mean, there is that part, and then like the first game I played on the Switch that I have here, I didn't play far enough in the game to unlock Terra. So like,
I heard about that.
So stupid.
I was out of the house that night, and like I heard L5 lost, and I was like, oh shit, haha, I don't
Yeah,
gotta give you money, you keep losing.
This was like
but yeah, they
there
were
was
like,
a
dude, you
guaranteed win path, right?
Yeah, if you could
Guaranteed
Terra.
win path with Keldeo getting 4 kills in a guarantee. It was a
Fucking
line that
dope,
was
dude.
literally guaranteed if I could Terra. But because
And then
I
he got to
couldn't
the
Terra,
thing and he's
I
pressing the
couldn't-
button. He's like, wait.
I
I'd also
couldn't
like
Terra, so
don't feel bad for
Terra.
him, by the way. It's not like Usum where like you had to play like the post game to get the fucking mega ring and stuff like that. 15 minutes. That's all it
Yeah.
took. I told him beforehand too. It's like 15 minutes. First rival fight, you'll get it. You literally don't have to touch the game after that. Other than your games. And he was like, okay. Did not do it at all. And then
I just
lost
got-
because of it.
I just got to the place where you can trade Pokemon. I was like, oh, this is probably good enough. But I had a guaranteed win path, but because I couldn't Terra, I couldn't get out of my Zen headbutt weakness versus Palafin. I took too much damage, and then what happened was my Lando T, which was max defense, had to take a Palafin hit into an Ogerpon Hearthflame hit, which it can do, but
That's crazy.
Ogerpon crit me. So
Let's go.
So,
hey, less money out of my fucking pockets.
hey.
You keep getting unlucky. I'm cool with it.
But it's okay. We're still number 1 on the MVP with Keldeo.
Yeah, it has been fun. I was worried. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's like, I don't know. There's always like this big curse of like top end showdown guys coming in, trying Wi-Fi, and they get their ass beat in a couple games, and they're just like, fuck this, and then they're done. I think the Keldeo bet honestly saved me in that regard. Oh, if I started 1-2, it's like shit. Who am I looking for a replacement? Like I was ready to go. I was like, God damn it, dude. But you bossed up. You've been ready to go. So it's been fun watching it too.
The thing is, right? I'm doing this, but I'm also playing in like DCL.
DPL, Draft League World Cup.
DPL, and like the difference in game quality is like really massive. I'm gonna be super honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it does feel like I just can walk in and win. In PBR.
Well, I think the funniest thing, especially because it's Keegan, was the most you thought in your Keegan game, because he definitely rushed his bill a little bit, and you wanted your Keldeo kills. The most you thought in that game was, how do I not throw and get Keldeo more kills? And it was like 45 seconds in between, like down the last 10 seconds. He's like, I can't do that. I might lose. and then he didn't go for the Keldeo kills.
I ended up with 4 kills anyways, and it should have been 5. But it's like,
yeah, he accidentally crit. He won with SD Scizor, and he was like, fuck it, I'll bullet punch the arch. I don't want to kill it. Yeah. So he bullet punched it and crit it, and he went, are you kidding me, dude? Or the Clef got crit. Your Clef also won. I think it was like Calm Mind Clef, and then it got crit, and you went, nice.
My Scizor would have swept. I didn't want either of them because Keldeo swept as well. It's just like a silly little thing. I gotta keep up the bit, of course, for Keldeo, but it's just a fun thing for me.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. And again, it doesn't have to be everything you do Pokemon-wise. Obviously, it doesn't have to be the most serious in the world. But obviously,
I do think Keldeo's legit. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, so influential. Speaking of taking Pokemon very seriously, though, you do obviously, both of you, both have DPL. I almost said DCL. Oopsie, wrong one. DPL has obviously started. We talked about this a little bit before. Do you want to kind of talk about what you want to talk about DPL wise? I know we're going to talk a ton about it later. With different things. You guys.
For the folks at home, you might be thinking, "What the H is DPL?" It's a team tournament that I run. This is the 9th season. It's been like one of the pillars of the community for the past 6-7 years. Always a really big community event. You see a lot of top players playing in this. A lot of great games, great spectator experience as well. Highly recommend just watching the games. You can learn a lot. It's always a good time. A lot I'll
be sure to link the what do you call it? The server in the description down below. Obviously, join. And again, I always recommend watching people who are better than you. It's just going to make you better at the game inherently if you're like actually watching it. So yeah, go watch some games and things like that.
A big factor of like getting better too is like if you want to join, just like join a team and like help them with like mocks and test games. That's gonna be huge. I've had a few guys like actually get better from that, and now like they're getting drafted.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, what was I gonna say?
Captains,
I forgot.
If you want to give up some mocks, feel free to
plug. He said, "Hit me up." You'll see me in the server.
What I was gonna say. So I do plan on doing watch parties every Tuesday. For all the DPL games. I think I've been trying to get a lot better at like casting the games to make it more enjoyable, more educational, all that stuff. A little bit more energy, stuff like that. Because I feel like a lot of times when I'm watching games, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good play, cool stuff like that. That was cool prep, something like that. But I've been trying to like get into it, and make it more of a viewing experience. And then last week we had Dougal join me, and we went through our series because my team played Dougal's team in like super high detail. And so I'd like to get some people on for that sort of thing as well. I know iPro is interested in joining one of the streams, so that'll be great. He's one of the best players, especially in Sun and Moon. He's like really dominant in that. So it'd be great to have him on. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Really and again, I'll link that. I mean, this will go up on Wednesday. So at this point, you should have also had your week 2 done. So the VOD will be up. You can obviously go check out the VOD. But yeah, join L5 server. Again, he'll obviously be linked down there. You can click on his name in the title and stuff like that as well. But I don't want to talk too much about DPL because
we'll get to it,
we're going to talk a lot about DPL, right? So we'll zoom through the news a little bit. We're already 14 minutes in. Where are we at? We also have Emerald Open play-ins. They just ended. I believe you didn't even have to play play-ins, right? You won your pool, or you were
I got a buy.
Yeah, L5 got a buy. I played my play-ins, so I will also be in the bracket. So top 128 just came out. There's been some fun games. There's also been some silly stuff. I wouldn't even say controversy. I wouldn't even say controversy. It's ADV, so it's just inherently there's going to be It's gonna be very different. I think it's.
Some of these matchups are crazy. There was Genius X versus Crying, which is a fun matchup. Crying's like a SPL player.
There's Zazo versus
who's
Boas.
been like really good in yeah, Boas versus Zazo was very funny.
Yeah. He's getting the Rushmore gauntlet right now, man.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through to see if there's anything else like really cool. Obviously, like this other side is kind of cut off for them a little bit, but we could just say it out loud. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. Do my GOAT LRXC, Austrian George. That's a fun one.
Sweet.
Don't miss. But yeah, Emerald Open will be fun. I know Keegan's been doing a lot of content for that too, as he's a big ADV guy, and I'm sure now that he isn't in the tournament anymore, he's going to be watching from the sideline and streaming it a bunch. So that's another bet. I bet Keegan that I'd make it farther in the tournament than him, and I didn't think he'd have to give me money so early in the tournament. So I think I got like 5 gifted from him. So if you get 20 kills with Keldeo, Keegan's paying for that shit. It's not even me.
Nice.
But yeah, Emerald Open's been fun. Big tournament, and I think there's like a fucking $1,100 prize pool or something like that. Like it's like really the big, largest prize pool like ever. ADV dudes don't play, man. They rock with their format like crazy.
I think Cash Gang might have been more. It would be close, I think.
Kaz and Keegan specifically, like, were like we finally like got above Cash Gang. Like they said, like, hey, we're above Cash Gang. I think it's by very small, but like they got above it, which is pretty cool. There's some crazy donations. But
ADV people are crazy for ADV. Like,
no,
I don't know.
They do not fucking play, man. Like it is
crazy,
dude. All I'm saying, do not question or do not shit talk anything ADV related. They will kill you. It is nuts, dude. But it's been a fun tournament, and I'm sure it'll be a good time, dude. I could play a big Scurfy in round 2. That's not fair. Top 5 round 2. That's fucked up. All right.
That is crazy. Yeah.
On to the next, though. One more little bit of Wi-Fi news. We obviously have SPL going. I'm playing in this. I wish I had more like to commentate. It's VGC. I've been winning. I think at the time of uploading this, I'm 3-2, which I'll take. My goal going into this was just like playoffs, right? Playing a format that I'm not super familiar with. It's been a lot of fun though. It's really stressful because it feels like you're completely starting over again. Like completely starting over again. The game is played so much differently in doubles. Like some standard draft principles still apply, but like the gameplay itself is so weird. But it's been fun. I've had a lot of help, so I really appreciate like the people who have been like, you know, helping me out a ton. I know Hopeless and Jaber or Jesse 504 have been helping me a ton, mostly in like the building process and kind of like understanding, you know, the thought process of winning doubles and how to like, you know, play towards an end game. But it's been some cool games. I know Joey's been killing it. Despite being a singles guy who doesn't play any doubles, I think he just took his first loss as of this most recent upload to Joe UX9, who's like, I mean, first loss in the VGC League, plus like, I think Joe's like a top 3 or like top 1 NA, like in the VGC circuit, like in the world. He smoked me week 1, like I got my ass beat.
Yeah.
He's obviously very good. So yeah, it's been some fun games. I definitely recommend checking out. Another singles guy who's been killing is fucking Mounte. Has been going crazy in SPL. I mock for mock with, I was telling L5 before this, I mock for mock with Mounte every week. He mocks me, gives me great mocks for myself, because he'll beat my ass and be like, oh, okay, I see where I fucked up on this line, or I need to tweak this. With him, he kicks my ass, I'm like, hell yeah, brother, great team. And then he goes and he wins his game. That's it. Or like, I'll almost beat him, or I'll beat him like, because it's best 2 out of 3, I'll beat him like 1 set, and he'll be like, I know I lost that. Thanks. I'm like, you're welcome. It is a little bit of a one-way relationship at the moment, but he's killing it. He's playing really well with a cool rain team. So, even if you don't like doubles, I recommend checking it out. I think the game's a lot of fun. I usually actually don't watch a lot of the games for the leagues I'm in for Wi-Fi, just because like I see them passively and in call. I've actually been watching a lot of them, and it's pretty fun. Just because it is so different.
I've been watching too.
Yeah,
I've been watching you and Joey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Monte's draft as well is like. It's like based on a team that Hopeless won
the Baltimore team
with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's literally
like
just missing the
Mousehold and stuff.
It's missing. I forget. It's missing like one like super important mon. It's Annihilate. I think. Like I think he had like Annihilate on that team or something like that. Which Joey drafted. But yeah, it was really hard to beat too. And I remember seeing it originally. And people were gassing up again. I don't know shit about doubles. People were gassing up. I was like, this looks like. Rain. Like, I don't know, man. Like, cool. Fucking Basque Legion. Like, all right, man. These guys are all super mid and singles. Cool. And it's really cool. It's actually crazy how versatile Rain is in doubles. Like, you think of Rain as like super one note in singles, and most weather is super one note. But you could do a lot of you could do some crazy shit with Thunderous. Like, that guy's nuts in doubles. But yeah, and then we obviously have Spring Seasonal as well. And just for L5, we're gonna put his fucking Scoville game on the screen. Obviously, what do you call it? Let me crop this a little better so you get a little better review. Spring Seasonal's happening, which is one of Small Gun's bigger individual tournaments. It's Swiss, I believe. I don't remember how many rounds of Swiss. Do you remember?
A lot. I don't know.
A lot. Okay.
We'll find out when we're done.
Yeah. It's. I know we're currently going into round 4. How are you doing it? Are you 3-0 or 2-1? I know you won your first
2-1.
2-1. Oh, me. Look at us,
this is
man.
the week 2 game.
Okay, this is week 2 right here. Okay, yeah. I'm also 2-1. I got my ass beat by Crabominable. It was crazy. That guy's so strong, dude. It was crazy, man. So I was playing really quick. Well, so it gives us time to let L5. Oh, shout out to Hypnosis. Let's go.
Yeah, not everyone can be Kaif.
Yeah, unfortunately not. You just don't have it in your bag.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? I was playing like it was a bad matchup in general, but there was a gouge on the other side, and my water's like fucking.
Watch this.
Oh my god.
Boom!
Let's go, baby! 1 point. But obviously, I really quick on my game. I got my ass beat by Crabominable, and they had a gouging fire. And my check was like, I was like some Fizz Def Gator with like Endeavor Roar, like some dumb shit like that. It was actually checking it well in mocks, and then I saw that the gouge didn't come, and I was like, let's go. That's fire for me. Like that's great. I don't have to take gouging. I switched to my Fizz Def Gator on a Life Orb close combat. It wasn't banded. I took 70. I was like, oh shit. This thing's getting 4. it was like Crab with like Terra Crest that I like could not stop from Trick Room Lunar Dancing. Yeah. So I beat the Crab once, and then I had to beat it again, and I beat it again, but then I didn't have enough Pokemon to win, and I lost 1-0. So Crab put me in a body bag. It was crazy. It was really cool. Their team was really cool. Like all 3 Terra Captains were super annoying. It was like Terra Lando, Terra Crest, and Terra Crab, I think, actually, which is also fucking scary, but it was pretty cool. And then obviously, I'm sure you want to talk about your fun little Scoville and Vulpix core that you drafted for 2 points.
Yeah. So I had a top 6 team with 2 points left, and I was like, you know what's 1 point? Scovillain. You know what's 1 point? Vulpix.
Let's fucking go.
This is kind of heat because I actually love Scovillain so much. I made a Poke Rap with it, and it's actually.
It's
been one of my favorite Gen 9 mons. Yeah. And so I've been wanting to get somewhere to draft Scovillain.
I wonder what this click is.
A seasonal, that's perfect for it. I'm gonna bring Vulpix Scovillain every single week. You know.
Hey, I mean, it went crazy in this game. What has it got? I've seen 2 at least while I've been sitting here. Yeah. Oh my god, Oko and Glowking is so funny. Wow. Fucking god. Yeah. I like how we have the whole ass bolt and we're like, let's go Scovillain. Oh my god, -2. Oh I know it's in the sun, but -2 is crazy.
It's so
Did
good,
it
dude.
matter on Entei?
On the Entei, it didn't matter if it wasn't bulky. Like if it didn't have like,
this guy said crit matter on Entei GG. Only if AV. He didn't even calculate. He just said that guy's ass. I know he didn't kill me.
No. If it's offensive Entei, it does 105 min. But it turns out he had bulk, so the crit mattered. But also he didn't kill me back, so it's all good.
And you didn't end up taking any more damage.
Yeah. And I could just Healing Wish into it, and like it still kills 6.
That's the whole plan.
Wait, what's Healing Wish? Does Vulpix get Healing Wish?
Yes.
That's fucking raw.
Like this, yeah.
Wait,
it's so good, actually.
This guy might be the greatest Little Cup Pokemon of all time. Why have I never drafted him? Let's go. But yeah, that's obviously pretty fun. Seeing if we can win, dude. Again, the YouTuber brain sticks out. You imagine if you smoke this tournament, you get to like how I won the spring seasonal with Scoville and Vulpix or some shit. Dude, that goes so hard.
With 3 weeks, it's at 13 kills, if I remember correctly.
I'm assuming we're doing the Keldeo thing, where we're trying our best to get as many Scoville kills as humanly possible.
I'm just playing the game.
Just doing it. Okay, I didn't know if we're like. Okay, did you tear it in your other 2?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Shout out to Raging Bolt at the top. We drafted top 16 with Raging Bolt, and we're like, we're not going to tear him. Fuck it. We're fine.
Scovillain, he deserves it. But yeah,
he's been working hard.
Really farming. I think this is actually a pretty common thing, is that SV teams don't really have great fire resist right now, because Chi-Yu has kind of fallen off, and that's like the main thing you needed special fire taking hits from. So people are kind of slacking on that right now and taking advantage with Scovillain of all things. W.
Man. Yeah, for 2 points too, it's pretty cool to see it pop off like that.
The 1.
Or I'm saying like the core in general.
The core, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also been a Moongus and what else on here? A Lando T.
Pick a Moongus. Shout out to top 6 team, including fucking SV Amoongus. Let's go. But yeah, with that being said, though, I think that's all of the news. we can kind of jump into the interview / LOQP like focus and spotlight right here. What we usually start off with this, just kind of like break the ice and all of these like quote unquote interview portions, is we kind of ask you what your favorite Pokemon is, both in general, in draft. Do they correlate? Is there any specific reason for each of them? And etc. So what's your favorite Pokemon in general? I guess
they do not correlate.
They do not.
Pokemon in general is Xurkitree.
Okay. Is there a reason specifically, or you just saw him? You're like, that's fucking sick.
Hey,
that's valid.
This guy's got the mad swag. I just want to bring him in game. Just like he's scary, right?
Hey, that's
you
fair.
You guys will see him in a replay later. You look at him, you're scared.
He does have an aura about it. Hey, that's valid. My favorite Pokemon's Ment, because when I was 9, I saw Salamence, I was like, that's fucking sick. That's a dragon, dude. Like, that guy's badass. And it just sticks with you, yeah?
Yeah. I like weird shit too, so like, I feel like Xurkitree benefits my vibe.
Oh, for sure. UBs in general. And then in draft, what would you say it is? Unless it's also
draft, if it's available, it's gonna be comfy. I'm always gonna have a comfy in my team, especially in SV. I think there's more of a reason to it. I think
is it just the Terra aspect of it in SV, like the low point Terra, or is it just like I like the utility of it?
No, I don't even Terra. I use it in Slick Panther League, the Battle Company.
Okay.
2 seasons in a row. Maybe like 35% of games, 30% of games, it was winning on accident because they don't prep for that. So like it's a 6-pointer, super cheap. Checks often. It's gonna check the best mods, right? So that week I think Dragapult was available. It was Val, Tusk, Grand, Meow, everything. All those mods, you just throw a comfy. You don't have to put a scar for it. Anything. You just throw a comfy. You don't have to think about it. Plus, it's also a potential win con. I think it's one of the games I played like Iron Threads plus like Volcanion and Swalot. It's still won. They didn't have seen one, right? Just like. It's not Terra, it's like a low tier mon, right? You're gonna prep like I had like Annihilate, Cinderace. You prep like for the threats, but there's a comfy in the back, right? I just beat down threads with like Draining Kiss.
Oh, for sure.
Online Draining Kiss, synthesis, right?
There's no slam. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I like using this mon a lot. I think it allows for more. It allows for like more for trying other mons out. Because you don't have to like it's so good at like compressing like rows of like dealing with offense
for very cheap, yeah.
Like anti-meta.
It allows for like more interesting drafts. I think it's just like easy to fit on teams, like a bulky fairy. It's bulky enough for anything.
That's what I found with Clefable in BBR. It's like bulky enough to stop a lot of these guys, and you can do a lot with it.
It's gonna do its job.
Feels a little bit similar, except better into offense, whereas Clef is better into fat.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because Clef into fat.
They just lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know versus who I low-key brought a bad Clef set because I wanted to get kills with Keldeo. Like.
It was like some healing weird shit. It was like some shit you bring into offense, right?
Yeah,
like it was
I don't
like
know how he beats Calm Mind, but I'm just gonna bring healing wish.
Because I'm gonna bring Calm Mind Keldeo. Yeah.
You should have been him. You would gotten him for cheaper.
True. Yeah. Tactical.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
I think like one of the things like the highlights for Comfy is like I was facing like Val's, Iron Val's, Dragapults and stuff. I didn't even prep for that. I was just like threw like a Life Orb, Calm Mind Comfy. Didn't even prep for like the Val and or Dragapult. It was like so.
I have a revenge always. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably like the best Val check in the whole game.
Oh, yeah, sure. I think there's like a again we've talked about it. I guess that would kind of fall under the category of like emergency button. There's like a kind of just like emergency plan of like oh shit, lots of scary threats, but I know I have X in the back to where I always know I don't lose as long as I have this thing in the back. Same thing with like Sturdies and shit like that. Tarop with Broken Terra Shell and shit like that.
Obviously like
so it's obviously super valuable.
Doesn't necessarily beat like the fat setup guys. But like the fast ones was like
it beats hard, like it beats like strong offense, like big breakers. You can kind of revenge
which is like the main style in SV. Obviously, I like it, and like I think if you look at see, there's a team like you look at this. That was back in the day. I think that was like in 2020.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna switch over to this next thing, but we can throw it over there now. Let's see which bam. And look, we'll have your guys' teams up, and they'll be like, wait, what is this? Kieran Black. Oh shit, Kieran Black from the waist down. What does he mean?
Is that a switch to with round 3 bronze song?
Listen.
Oh, it's low tier. That's
yeah, it's low tier. Yeah,
that checks out.
There's a comfy right there. I think that's the only. Oh no, there's 2 comfy.
There's 2.
Yeah, 2 comfy. 1 low tier.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
one, dude, I'm sure that guy accidentally wins in low tier all the fucking time.
Yeah, he's in the high tiers. Yeah, I swear that guy's broken. Such a good bond.
Now, obviously, we have this on the screen. This is Kieran Black from the waist down, right? One of the most, as Elfi said, dominant performances in like draft league team tour history. You guys smoked through everybody. Obviously, you all can see they won every series pretty convincingly too. If I'm remembering back, just like on the time. I was captaining this tournament and playing in it as well. I remember you guys smoked through everybody, went through playoffs. I think just a completely undefeated, uncontested run. And then you kind of rode off into the sunset for 4 years afterwards. I think this is like, if I'm remembering right? You were like, you tipped the cowboy hat and like fucking galloped off into the sunset afterwards.
Perfect.
But do you want to give us some insight on this season? I mean, it's a pretty nuts roster too, all things considered.
Yeah, it was really good roster. Like all the guys were like, fun to hang out with. I
feel like we're seeing a theme here too, with a lot of team tournament teams that do well, right? Like it's kind of the vibes of it are big.
Yeah. The vibes, but the vibes are a trap, right? You don't want to just go for the vibe. Right?
Oh yeah, well of course, yeah.
Right, but they're a trap, right? Which may have fallen off in a few times. Yeah, that team I was captain with Ray. Me and Ray actually started doing draft together. Met in YouTube comments of like the GBA of like Joey's league or something, of the Joey's video. We created a league together, played in a bit. Both of us were dominant. Then we went on Discord. I think it was Moran Varan. He came and was like, "You guys are good. You should apply for DPL." We did tryouts. We both got drafted on Trickaby. And that was DPL season 2. Then we did. So like we'd always be on the same teams. We decided, hey, let's captain together. Obviously, he was good. He was like, I think he's like 10-5 overall in DPL, so he's a pretty good player. So I decided captain together, and then I just drafted a good team. Honestly, the guys, the LC was definitely carrying. I think who was like, I think it went for like 35K, something like that.
He earned his price point, 5-1 plus 11. He smoked that season. He played really well.
Yeah. Then Sky was King Sky, 3-1. We actually would like bench people, like even if they were winning, because like everybody was winning, so like everybody needed a shot. Taquito, 6-1. That was the LC guy.
Yeah, he went on crazy. Like as someone who plays a lot of LC and like still plays a lot of LC and like see the tours around and stuff like that, LC wise, he like went fucking nuts in this tournament. Went crazy. I don't know. Maybe he had like one good. What was that one? Fucking. I always forget the other team tournament that did it too. I always forget. TDT. That's what it was. I think he might have a good team there, but he like fucking disappeared, like off the face of the earth as well after this. He was like, he came in, smoked everybody, and then I feel like I never saw that dude again, like ever. It was crazy. And then obviously T-Row, another great Little Cup player all time. We
had like a lot. We had like great Little Cup, and like thing is like we had like more Little Cup players than other teams. Like they would support each other, and everybody on the team would learn the Little Cup and mock it too. So that I think that helped a lot.
So Clash is weird, right? Because it does have Little Cup, which is not a format that is super real or like a format that a lot of people know. So you see, like again, this team obviously had an insane Little Cup, but pretty much every Clash team that has ever won throughout the 4 or 5 seasons has had really fucking good Little Cup. Because there's not a lot of people who can play it and stuff like that.
My strat in Clash when I was captaining for a few seasons, I always just draft the best LC on the board. And just let them cook.
When me and Kaz won in whatever it was, Clash 4, I think it was, when we won, we were like literally prepared to throw like fucking $8 billion at like the best who we thought that was the best LC player, which was Legit's. But Legit's is like not known for his activity too. So people were a little apprehensive on draft, so we got him for super fucking cheap. And then we were able to get good LCs. I think we had 2 like support pieces for LC specifically, and we just kind of filled out the rest of the board from there. And we got some good guys, but our LC every week, we knew we were good for at least one, mostly two. Like our LC core was really, really fun. So, and we ended up winning as well. So I think that's actually a cool thing with Clash. And I think Clash plans on coming back too. So something to think about in the future.
You need some good LC because it's harder to support. Like as a captain, you can't be like, hey, like I'm gonna show you the way like how it's played. Obviously, you can mock, but that's pretty much it. Like it's harder to support.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was the same like DCL and VGC. VGC is more different. Wait, I think one of the things I like this team tour, it was during the pandemic. Depending on like where you are in the world, lockdown the lockdown rules were different.
Oh yeah.
I'm in Canada and in Quebec. And the lockdown, it was just like full lockdown, couldn't go out. Right? I was like curfew. I was
might as well sit inside and play Pokemon all day, you know.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, no doubt. Our team wasn't even good when we were doing that, man. Like we weren't even good. Yeah. We won like 2 series and we were fucking going crazy like that. I spent like all day in call with fucking Darkrai and Skyhorse and shit like that. Like it's a good time.
It was fun, but like I think it made the team like it made us better because like all I was doing is like I would hop on to someone like for example like okay it's Monday, I'm gonna hop on with like Robert Panda. And, like talking about the matchup, build him a team mock, and then okay, his team is set Monday. Next day I would hop on with someone else, right? That's all I would do for like the entire week.
Yeah, obviously dominant results. Again, 7-0 is crazy. 7-0 and obviously winning throughout playoffs. What 2? I mean, I think it's only 2 series afterward, but 9-0 total. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I think you can move on to the next question. This is from Jesse. What pulled you back after the extended break and you being thought of as the only person to ever actually really retire? That's like a common thing people were saying.
It was actually one of the jokes. It's like nobody returns between fucking LOQP and Ray.
People would say, oh yeah, no one actually retires Mons. And then people would say, well, remember that LOQP guy? He actually did it. Now look at you. Now look at you.
Dude, you proved the theory right. You fucking can't get away.
Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, so it's I retired. So first off, I retired just I didn't have a life. Like I was doing Mons, right? Obviously, when you're a team tour, like you know what the standard is, and you don't want to. Wait a second. When you perform well, you set a standard upon yourself. So you know if you don't give that same effort, you're not going to do as well. Right? So I'm like, okay, I'm that guy that does well. Like I don't want to do as bad. Like, I ended up like just building more and more and more effort. As I'm just like I didn't have a life. I was just like, okay, I'll just completely leave, touch grass. And I realized like I wasn't as happy. I was just like on the computer all the time. So then I went off like at university, just partying and doing what I do best. And enjoyed it. Came back 4 years later, and after a breakup, actually. Long story short, I didn't know what else I liked before seducing girls. That's all I would do for like years and years. And eventually, you know, when you get in a relationship, you realize, oh shit, I don't know what else I like, right? So I was like, okay, what made me feel like I was competing? What made my mind, what got my mind into something? I was like, okay, the Pokemon Leagues was like one of them, right? I found a few other things, but like Draft League was one of them. I thought, okay, I'll try it out, come back, see if I can like have a balanced life with the Draft League. So I came back. I'm just doing one league at once, doing the team tours. So DPL, I think it was season 8 I played. Then I did like just a battle company, which was like a Panthers League. And then I did DCL season 2. I captained. Unfortunately, I got a concussion right before it started. So when it's been like 7 months now, I'm still concussed. So I've been playing concussed most of the time. I don't have a job, so I'm just spending my time playing mods, waiting to get better. But yeah, soon I'll just find like a better balance, because like for those who know me, like I'm VC 24/7. But I just can't wait to get like back out and like having a real life.
Yeah, I think having that balance is important, you know, because then as someone, especially like that pandemic time, I was the same way. I mean, you're inside, fuck it, like I said, fuck it, I'll play Pokemon, I ain't got shit else to do. When you, not only is it not healthy to sit in front of your computer all day, as someone who uploads fucking 2 videos a week and sits and plays Pokemon all day, it's also like it Pokemon becomes like it your mood is super dependent on how you're performing in X league or X tournament or whatever it is. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit. When it gets to that point, you're like, oh man, I need to go find something else. Go pick up a sport or something. Go out to the gym. Go hang out with friends. Do something, because that's when it gets to it can get to that point really quick too. It can go from like, this is so much fucking fun to, damn, I've been mad all day because I got crit at 9 a.m. like this is crazy.
It's part of your routine, right? When you go out, you're like, right, you're doing something, go out with friends, like, oh yeah, I want to prep for this, that. Like, but you're thinking about your game. You're like in a shower thinking about your game. Like, it's overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
So it's nice to find a balance, but it's hard to find a balance.
Yeah.
Right?
It's uncharted territory. I mean, like, there's no generation before us that has had to deal with, like, you know, this level of, like, access to the internet and whatever, you know, on top of still having to be a functioning member in society. And, like, you know, like, between doing all this shit, I also go to school full time. I'm working full time, shit like that. So it's like, whoa, you gotta make sure you're playing. And I think having that good balance of, like, it almost becomes good that you're, like, thinking your games, because, like, say I'm out and I've had a busy ass week, I'm like, shit, well, I get to play Pokemon this weekend because I got nothing to do Saturday. I'm gonna hang out all day and play video games because I know I've been productive the rest of the week. It gives you, you know, you're like, okay, cool, like, I have something to look forward to, and it is a hobby, you know. So that definitely makes sense.
I think team tours is where it starts to become very, very much more competition, than a hobby. Right? You have to put in. It's literally a full-time job, especially to captain a team. And L5, I don't know how you do to, like, manage DPL and captain a team every single time.
Well, I run the tournament because I like playing in them, you know? And I'm fortunate to have people who help out, so it's not all just me.
But yeah,
I've gotten pretty used to captaining. I really enjoy it.
Have it down to a system.
Sometimes, like, every once in a while, I'll sign up for a team tour not as a captain, and then I immediately regret it because, I'm not the one in control of my roster, and that's like the big one for me. Like, I always like to draft people who I know are going to mesh well together, and be fun to work with, and then also they're good at Pokemon. Like, you have to have all of them to have a good team environment, I think.
Yeah, but when you're a player, you don't decide. And you can get in, like, a toxic environments, not like toxic stuff, like, but in environments that aren't gonna be fun to be in.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm sure you can talk to a bunch of people. Team tours are very hit and miss for a lot of people. Like, some people obviously fucking love them, but some people, I mean, it takes one or two shitty experiences to be like, wow, this sucks. I don't want to do this shit again. So
I've been so for me, since the first time I've been captain, I've always been a captain. Obviously, not this season I came back, because, like, I haven't played for 4 years. But yeah, since I came, like, I've just on a captain, and my experiences as a captain has always been great.
Oh yeah.
It's exhausting.
So next question, what's the difference between captaining and just being a player? I think we kind of touched on it already, but captaining is, you feel more responsibility, right? But as a player, you have less control over, like, how the season goes, it feels like. And
it's like more responsibility. Like, I think as a captain, you care more for the team win. As when you're a player,
what about your individual accolades, making sure your record's good? You're almost, like, thinking ahead to the next tournament, even, like, as you're playing as an individual player too. Like, you're like, okay, how am I doing right now? Because it's gonna affect in 3 months for whatever tournament or something like that.
Yeah, you don't care as much about your personal record when you're a captain as much as when you're a player. Because, like, when you're captain, like, especially, like, when you provide a lot, like, you have to provide a lot to a team, like mock support, prep support. Like, you have to, like, look up everybody, how everybody's doing, who needs help, get people, like, okay, this guy, get people, like, someone's build, like, okay, this guy, like, doesn't feel ready, get people to mock him. Okay, who's the best player on your team for that tier? Okay, can you help him? Like, hop and call with them, help them prep. Like, as a captain, is kind of what you have to do. I think to make your team, obviously you don't have to do it, but, like, if you want to have a good team, I think that's what you have to do. And then, it's basically, like, you can have an environment that you like and that fits you. Much rather be a captain. If you can one day, be a captain.
Yeah.
That'll make you a better player for whoever captain you play for afterwards. So you're like, damn, I remember that shit. That shit was hard. I'll have my build done a little earlier in the week.
Another thing about being a captain is if you're a player that goes for a lot, you'd rather be a captain because your buy-in's going to be cheaper, right? For example, like if you look like Gypsy King this season, 46k, right?
Yeah.
This guy.
Help! I said, fuck, dude.
Yeah. Obviously, good pickup, worth it. But what if he's a captain, right? 20k less, all right, for the buy-in, and provides the same effort, or the same contributes like the same to a team.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you don't have that crazy price tag next to your name. You don't gotta worry about that, right?
That's why usually like the stronger, like the captains are gonna be the stronger players.
Oh, for sure. No, I mean it makes sense. It also just it helps whatever team you're on because you're cheaper, so you have more budget to allocate, elsewhere and things like that,
sure.
or get another big guy because you're not being, drafted, quote unquote. You just have to pay whatever tax.
It's more so the case in DCL than it is in DPL because we have a much steeper buy-in price of 25k. If you look at the draft board or like the player rosters, not a lot of people are over 25k. So you have to be really elite to justify that price. So we see like 3 teams didn't select the self-buy, and honestly it's probably a good decision from them. So there's a little bit of trade-off there, whereas DCL, it's 15k, which is like, we'll buy as many slots.
Right?
Well, if you're not worth like even 15k as a player, you're probably not captaining anyways, right? So, no, it's definitely fair. All right, on to the next one. What's the next question? My phone is tweaking. Do you want to read it off for me?
Yeah, so who's someone you haven't gotten to team with in a team tour that you would like to team with in the future?
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, right? Good question.
Let me pull up the DPL roster.
And this is from PokeFan4125.
Yeah, honestly, most likely just gonna nominate a lot of good players that are active. That's basically what I like. Zazzle, I'd love to team with them. You, Zing, and Gypsy. I wanted to go hard on Gypsy in the auction, but we already had 15k Sky Horse on the team, so we didn't really go for Gypsy. At 46k, we went up to 40. So definitely, I really wanted to go all out for Gypsy. Who else have I not teamed with? I think Glop would be interesting. I actually met Glop in real life, so I'd like to team with him once, at least. I actually would like to team with Hopeless. I think this guy with the right support can be really great.
He's just really good at Pokemon in general, man. Singles, doubles, like he's got it down.
Yeah, he's 0-2 right now, but I don't know like what the support he's getting. But I'm 0-2 as well, so
Yeah, this slime season SV doesn't look too hot in terms of like player support or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think like as a doubles player, you kind of need that like strong SV presence to like that strong SV singles presence to guide you, because this guy's gonna understand Pokemon. You just need that guy to guide him.
Give him the tools to succeed, kind of thing.
Yeah. Because Owen, I don't know like how much he's coached you in VGC. So like what he's told me is VGC is more so like about the vibes. Like it's not as specific, calculated.
Yeah, that's why I super struggle with that. It pisses me off. It makes me so mad. Yeah, I'll be like, okay, what exactly do I need to do to not lose this? He's like, position better. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean, dude? Like, tell me how. And he's like, like, bring a better team.
Goals is you have like your turns planned out. You have your sequencing planned out. You know what's gonna happen in the game.
There's too much variance in doubles. Yeah.
You just have to make the call sometimes, and there's no way around it.
There's so many games where I'm just like,
I know
fuck
that
it.
pisses you off.
Or it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. I don't play well with that. That's why I'm surprised I'm quote unquote doing well 3-2 as of uploading this without week 5 or week 6 going up. Dude, it is. I mean, I'll get my ass beaten some mocks and I'll be like, why did that happen? And they're like, you got the play wrong. I was like,
you just attacked into a protect.
Yeah. Don't do that. Right. Fuck, they didn't show me protect yet. And they're like, tough, gotta guess. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'll do that next time, coach. Thanks.
I know we were looking at some sequencing for
I forget which.
Which one?
Meowstic
team, the Meowstic Iron Crown. trying to find like a turn 1 click that was perfect all the time. Just couldn't find one.
Just didn't
Like, you have
exist.
to make
Hey,
a
guess what
prediction at
happened?
some
I got my
point.
ass beat in that matchup. By the way, I lost that
yeah.
one to Viz. It was hard. Yeah, it was like, okay, there's a terrain here. Is it gonna be fake out meow? Is it gonna have this? Like, there's so many different options. You know, like, yeah, it's crazy. It's super aggressive. Like VGC is so like, even on like the fatter teams, it's super aggressive. It's crazy.
Anyways, back to the topic though. People you'd want to team with. I mean, for me personally, I would be looking at, you know, someone like Rob Jr. He's my GOAT, but I've never gotten to team with him because he's always too expensive. Because he's the GOAT. I would also like to team with Glop. I think that would be fun. Then obviously Zazo, you of course. I really wanted to team with you. We keep captaining and I keep captaining. Yeah. One time we should captain together.
Oh man, look at the big money moves happening on the 2AKO podcast. Man.
Yeah, I also really wanted to team with Gypsy King, but he's also too expensive all the time. Here he was probably too expensive too, but this time I was like, F it, we're doing it. Yeah.
Zing, I think is it the first time you were teaming with Zing?
Yeah. So this is a lot of firsts for me.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying a lot of it.
And it's funny because like I was actually talking to him before the auction too, right? For the captain apps to captain him too, right? So like it was like you and I, but I'd end up teaming on Chickabai. It's like
well, I know he was looking for an ORAS player.
Yeah, that's basically what he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play ORAS again.
Yeah, ORAS jail, huh?
So we got
maybe ORAS will disappear someday, right? There's only a few.
I mean,
I feel I was talking to Nathan about it. I was like, is there just like not any ORAS players or like great ORAS players? Like, are they all just disappearing like dinosaurs? Are they all dead? Like, no, it seems like yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
It's definitely not as deep as.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because some of them also just want to play SV, right? Like Zing is great at ORAS, but he wants to play SV. Right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a new gen, right? You have a new gen, you want to play the new gen.
I feel like SV is also very positively received too, whereas like Swish, some people didn't really fuck with Swish at all. So like they're like,
Swish got
fine.
old really fast.
Yeah, like fine. I'd rather play ORAS because I'm not playing stupid ass Swish. But like SV, I don't know. I think SV is a lot of fun. I think a lot of people do think that as well. Yeah, like it's a really fun tier
format,
and it is just like it's just not close to being like somewhat remotely solved yet. There's so much crazy shit happening like on a month to month basis of like different metagames. Like the meta just goes, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right. So from Berna, how do you normally plan for team tour auctions?
So I look at players that I think will be underpriced for what they can provide. Is the main plan. And how do I judge value? For me, it's skill and activity. Obviously, you also have your prep. So I want you like I separate in like 3 skill categories, right? So it's prep, play, and activity. And obviously, like the better you are at each, the more I'm gonna value you, and I'm gonna try to like balance out like all of them in I'm just gonna balance all of them in the team that I'm trying to build. It's also like you have to realize like you have to be flexible during the auction. Like some other players are like, oh, he's gonna go for 15, end up doing like for like 25, right? Because somebody else, he may not be 25, but like somebody else wanted him, right? I think a lot of the ORAS players were inflated this DPI because it's so shallow. So like these guys were like, okay, I'm gonna have to spend a little more. So like the SV guys, I'm gonna have to spend a little less. So you have to be flexible, or else you're gonna end up with a team that you don't like and that's not optimized. Also, second, you want a team with people that you know you're gonna like, are gonna provide a good team environment. I don't know if everybody does that, but for me that's important. And playing a game,
I'm the same way.
Hang out. I'm a big VCer. I'm always on voice chat, so I need players that do voice chat.
I've never really had that experience on a team tour, really. Like maybe a few seasons we've been voice chatting here and there. This season, Greg is like a voice chatter, and we go through prep together. Has been working out too well this so far, but like he's been good for that.
Yeah, I was in team with Greg and Chickabai, but like see for us it's like I'm sure there's like people on VC right now. Yeah, there's 4 full guys on VC on the team.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, so I need that. I've always joined the VCs, and for me, like I don't like I'm like super active. I'm never gonna be the guy that has like a bunch of messages. Or I'm gonna be in VC. If you want help, we're gonna be in VC. We're
Don't
gonna
talk to me. You probably make some good ground, right? Instead of typing, I mean, you get us, you know, whatever 20 messages could be in like fucking 30 seconds talking back and forth, you know.
Like I'm a big time extrovert, right? So if I'm staying in playing Pokemon, I need to talk to someone. Like hear someone. So I'm not just listening. I'm doing something else.
No, that's definitely fair. Alrighty, moving on to the next one. I don't know if this was this a part of the burner question, or is this just a question you had in general?
No, this is separate.
Is it separate? So we just have written down innovator of Oras Zygarde. Advantage of innovation plus any underrated mon. So do you want to talk about Oras Zygarde and kind of what you know, the advantage of innovation is in regards to like getting these more slept on, cheaper threats that, you know what that does for your teams and builds potentially?
Yes. Zygarde was, I guess, one of them. So the way I like to play for me is I get bored if I use the same mons. I get bored if I use the standard meta. So you're always going to see me using some team that someone. I think you had one pull up on screen if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we're at. So you look at D-Knight, Sand, like what? Like if you look at this, I'll just give you an example here. So same for the mons of the players. For me, a good mon to draft is a mon that's going to be undervalued by its price. This season, I think one of them was like Kiram. I got it for 11 points. I think this guy with the right support, if you get like good removal, rocks off, I think can be great. So we got like a Mega Sableye plus a Tentacruel. Here, like D-Knight, same thing. I think it was really cheap for like what it can provide. It's also like it wasn't necessarily needed like in the team structure. Like we kind of had like a bunch of guys like the main structure filled out. So this guy could like relieve pressure off other mons. I think it's overall for like 11 points into Sand, but like it's not necessarily Sand either, right? I'm getting shit talk a lot because like, oh, D-Knight Sand, you don't come in and set Sand, like get out, right? It's you come in, you click 1 or 2 attacks, you set up rocks. So like Sand's gonna be up for like what 1 or 2 extra turns, and then D-Knight 11 points for a pseudo that basically can run like so many sets. I think even without the multi-scale is fine. I think it's pretty cheap. It just needs like the good removal, which I always draft first. As you can see, like Mew, Exegel, got my Defog, Rapid Spin, and then obviously Dragonite can defog on its own. It's just like a bunch of threats, that team. I think Mega T-Tar is also a bit undervalued.
Well, it's like it's very weird looking in terms of like standard meta.
I guarantee you this team is one of one.
Yeah. So Mew is like commonly drafted all the time, of course, but Drill sometimes goes undrafted these days. Scolipede, that's like maybe your third most common mon that's drafted, still not super common, and the rest of these are all just off meta picks.
As you can see by like the round 3 Whimsicott, I was like, everything else can get sniped. We did get sniped. A powder was supposed to be out of Momola, but like our like draft plan got leaked. We got sniped on the Adam Momola.
That's crazy. They couldn't let this team reach its full power. They couldn't do it. T-Tar saying struck fear in your enemies. They're like, he knows something we don't. Don't let him get it.
I think that the Zygarde one, right? I think you talked about it before on stream. I had a Zygarde Mega Guard team that I was using in Oras, and I think I went like in total. The team went like 6-1 or 6. The only loss that the team's ever had was hacks, like double Hurricane into Confusion into Will, like Giga
very
hacks,
consistent, yeah.
Obviously, like I was the only one that used it, so it's I don't know if it's that good or maybe it just fits my style, but I think ended up being good. And like Zygarde, it was like 7 points. The guy was like super high stats, good win con potential, forces a lot of prep, and he's cheap, right? So if you get the right roles around him, great mon to have. And you used him in the OS Cup. I think you liked it.
Yeah,
right?
loved it. It was great mon.
Yeah.
Especially for that cheap. I mean, obviously you don't have the thing that makes Zygarde like so good Newsome, but like for that cheap, man,
like,
fuck.
It still has the stats. The only thing it's missing is 1,000 Arrows, which is big, but also Earthquake is still a good move, you know?
Exactly.
It's still a good move. Coil, Dragon Dance, sub.
You can still hit shit off the ground that hard, right? It's not like you don't hit shit off the ground hard. You just have to use it. You just can't use the same move for everything, you know, like you can with the Thousand Arrows.
Yeah, I still remember that first game I used it. That was actually my first game back from retirement. First game in DPL versus Zing, and you were in chat L5, and I bring in the Zygarde. You're like, oh, the grand opening of Zygarde, right? Of Aura's
I think I remember this. Yeah. And Miss Draco, right?
Against Rotom Wash, okay? I ended up like, I think it was gonna Oko, and I fucking miss.
Yeah.
Zygarde dies to HP Ice.
So good,
and it's gone.
So good.
And
it's to my goat. But anyways,
that was such a funny moment.
When it says advantage of innovation is kind of like one of the big advantages to, you know, quote unquote innovation. Say like in the Zygarde case, say in the Kyurem case, is that just like the extra like, you know, or the extra like capital and like points you get out of drafting these guys are like, wow, these guys are great for super cheap. Right. I can support them super well with the points that they're leaving me left over and things of the sort.
Yeah. So for me, it's like in most, just in general life, the more you take risks, the more usually you should get rewarded, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it works the same. Or like, if you draft a mon that's like not used as much, usually like most tiering is done by like it's partly done by usage, right? So like if the mon's not used that much, what's gonna go down in points or in value. But if it's actually good but it's down in value, then you can pick it up and risk it not being good and not fitting on a team, or just pick up like a bunch of these mons, get a new team structure. It may work out, like you may have like a great team, better than like the standard meta teams, or you can have a really thrash team. Right, so like it's a risk. And I've had both. Yeah. I've had both.
He said, "I'm not 100%. I miss sometimes." Yeah.
I think we tried that actually this DPL season. One of the teams I used this week, it looked good, and then it ended up being just missing that one piece that makes the team like very hard to use. So nothing worked out. But yeah, overall it's fun, right? Because like most of the times, like you're gonna miss probably most of the times it's gonna be worse than usual. But that one time where like it's great and the team's super fun to use. And the other thing is that person that's mocking your opponent, it's harder to build with, right? They don't know what to do.
They don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck am I doing with this Dragonite Sand? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But how do you mock with this, right?
They don't have the same vision as you. They're not gonna see the same play patterns and like sequences. Yeah.
It's much easier to mock when like you're using like a Keldeo, Garchomp, Zapdos, Clefable team, right? Or a Meowscarada, Raging Bolt. Then I don't know. What if I had like Hydreigon, Screamtail, Volcarona, and Volcarona?
Terra Conkeldurr, let's go.
The legend.
The goat.
So that's my thing. And obviously for me, that's something that I like to do if not I get bored. But I think there is value in there. It's just a matter of, are you going to take the risk or not?
Well, yeah, and there's obviously a skill in it, right? Like, the more you actually understand the game, the more you can actually say, like, this guy is a sleeper. If you don't know what you're talking about, obviously, you saying this guy is, like, a sleeper pick, and it'd be like, nah, you're just kind of, you don't know what you're talking about, this guy's ass, so, obviously, you have to, give and take. I think maybe understanding the meta comes first before, obviously, experimenting like crazy, and going a little bit more off meta, but...
It's like learning the rules so you know when to break them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you'll see like in the game of the week later too that it is like one of the mods that is actually undervalued is gonna put in a lot of work. And one of the teams we have in Chikavai, and we have had a lot of comments about, I think probably one of the best USM drafts I've ever seen, ended up coming like great, because one of the undervalued mods we managed to put it on a team that it fits great on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for sure.
Right.
Okay, now I believe we see round 2 kind of recall everything I want to say. I think we already touched on that, so you keep moving on. I know L5 was like grinding his teeth when we heard Tentacruel.
Let it be known, this guy did draft a round 2 Tentacruel. And
I know you want to get your licks. Yeah, I know you want to get your licks.
We can move on.
So obviously, for the waffling portion, which is where we just kind of talk about what's going on, or just general trends and things like that, we talked about DPL. DPL's going on. Been a great spectator experience for all. I know a lot of people have been talking about a ton of the games that have been going on. We have this game right here. Now, is there a reason? This isn't game of the week, so I don't know why we have this game right here. Is there a specific reason?
Just to put it up while we're talking.
Okay, that's what it's for. Okay, I didn't know if there was like something very specific in this game you wanted to talk about, or like, okay.
No, it's just cool. It's just a fun game with Oras, Rain, which is so uncommon. Like, finally we see
against Hunter too, which is funny, being the fucking Swish Rain guy, right?
Yeah, it's like this DPL season, the start of it has been very fun to watch. Like, as a guy who actually just watches all the replays, and then I do that at my watch parties as well, it's been such a great experience. There's been some really funny beef in the general chat as well, which has been just
like actual beef or like
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like from Gen chatters, like people not in the tour, or like people in the tour?
People in the tour.
Okay. Oh, big boom. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it makes the tour more fun. I think the drama.
It's so fun. Yeah.
Like you cannot have DPL without the drama.
It's a competitive environment, so people are just gonna be mad about stupid shit the entire time.
Especially week 1, it's like everything's heightened because it's week 1. It feels so important. When in the whole season, like 1 week, it doesn't really matter too much. But when it's just that's the only week that's happened so far, it feels like it's the whole world. So yeah, very funny stuff.
Just barely.
I dropped a Balio diss track. That was super fun to write and then record.
And then smoked them, yeah. I remember you left.
We dropped the diss track on Friday. I left call to record it, mixed it, uploaded it in like 30 minutes, and then the next 5 games we won all of them, just 5-0.
So what I'm hearing is next week we're gonna have another diss track drop on whoever you're playing next. It fucking works.
Okay.
Now, what do you call it? No, L5 was in Call and Goons. I figured it was like me and Curse, and the guy was like, okay, I'm gonna go record this track. Goodbye. And we're like, what? All right, man. Like, see ya. Have a good one. Dead ass 30 minutes later, he's like, hi, everyone. That quick? You're ready to go? You had him loaded in the fucking chamber? Funny. Dude, he was ready to go, man.
That was so fun. Yeah, if we lost, that would have been so bad.
I think it would. Me personally, as someone not concerned with this at all, I think it would have been so much funnier if you dropped a diss track and then got your ass beat. Oh my god, that'd been funny, man. That'd have been super fire.
I was thinking, if that happens, it's super funny and they can dunk on us. They deserve that,
for sure. Yeah, you gotta play along with it.
I'm okay living with that, but I'm gonna call it beforehand. And then I released it like an hour before the first game. So like, it was super fun though. And like, it's all in good fun. They know it's not personal. There's some fire bars in there, but then
I mean, how seriously can you take a Pokemon diss track on fucking YouTube?
Yeah,
like,
right.
In the realest way possible. Yeah. How serious are we taking that?
Well, we 5-0'd and then they came back in the last 3 games, so the differential wasn't quite there. 5-3 win though. We end the week with the W. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. A lot of fun stuff in DPL. I know someone else dropped a diss track. This one was more just memeing around, but it was Slime Season dissing the Skrelpers. That was just a freestyle. It's in DPL Uploads channel if you want to watch it later, but that one's just funny.
They were mixing the track like you.
Yep.
Obviously, with the new tournament, you have different metagame trends, things getting drafted, things doing well, things of the sort. It says right here we see a big Hydrapple Keldeo boom, right? Absolutely popping off, and Keldeo's something you've been talking about for months. You and your water fightings, man. You draft them, you tear them, and everybody runs behind and grabs one. They're like, me too.
Well, this was like a hot take that I had for World Cup. Right, because we were like, how are we going to finish this Raging Bolt team? It's like, well, you need one of the fast darks, so we're going to throw Meowscarada on there. And then what synergizes well with Meowscarada? Well, this was right after we used Meowscarada or Shifu Rapid to really good success in DCL. So I was like, why don't we just put Keldeo on here? Keldeo doesn't need Terra because Raging Bolt is the Terra. You don't really want a non-Terra or Shifu Rapid. That's just a mid Pokemon in my opinion. But Keldeo here, sure, it has Vacuum Wave, nice addition, a great into the dark types and stuff like that. It can punch the grounds for the Raging Bolt, makes a lot of sense. And we put some other stuff on that team. There's a Blissey on there, which is a fun innovation as well, because it forces prep, there's Healing Wish, there's rocks, all that stuff. And you don't even bring it most of the time, but it's there just to force prep and stuff like that. But Keldeo actually ended up performing really, really well, and I prepping with it Like that was one of the matchups where I was like, hey, I'll help this one out, or like
this team looks cool and I want to.
Yeah, I used the team in tie breaks, and I won with that pretty comfortably. And so I was like, this is really awesome. I love Keldeo in this meta. It's like so anti-meta because who are the big Pokemon in the format? Dark types.
Darks,
right?
Yeah.
And there's always those really great ground types as well. And Keldeo just matches well naturally into a lot of these guys. So I was like, should use that. It ended up being great. And then in BBR I was using Terra Keldeo, which is just adds a whole nother layer of viability to it. And now people are actually drafting it in DPL. Like we had 3 out of 4 Keldeos drafted, I think. I'll double check that.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's been like really, really nice. Let's see, Keldeo is 3 out of 4 Keldeos drafted. I think one of them is Terra, maybe 2. But yeah, it's been really great. Well, and then Hydrapple is another Pokemon that has had a massive glow up.
That guy's so broken.
This thing was like 9 points like half a year ago.
So fucking broken.
And
Fuck
now,
that Mon. He's so stupid.
Just unexplored.
We raced it up to 13 points, which is a lot. And then it's still massively overperforming. So it's probably going to be like 16 points or something.
It's so broken. The move makes me so mad. I've never actually even played a Terra Hydrapple personally. Yeah. I've never so it's not. This isn't even coming from like I got my ass beat by a Hydrapple because I got all outed on from fucking Fickle Beam. I watch other games. I watch who using BBR. And I'll be like, oh, you lose them on if this guy just decides to do double the fucking damage randomly 30% of the time. You know, it's not like a crit. Yeah. It's like 30. Like, it's getting a Scald Burn. You just get a KO if you get a Scald Burn. You know, like it's so silly.
Good. The mon is good without that. Even with that.
Oh yeah. Regen stat monster with crazy coverage, and then it gets a move that does double damage 30% of the time. Like what the fuck?
You're not relying on it too, right? You're not relying on it.
Oh, for sure.
You're not relying on like hitting that one time because you can hit multiple times because you're so fat. Like I think this guy has like a pound on bulk. Plus, like
it's ridiculous. I think it's like 130 HP.
Like it's so strong.
Yeah, it's like bulky, strong, and it has regen. Like you can't switch around on it forever because you're just gonna get slowly chipped down. You can't really kill it.
Crazy coverage too. It's such good coverage. Like
nasty plot, bro. It gets nasty plot.
Dude, like the nasty 3 sets are so broken. Because you just regen off everything. You nasty hit something hard. You might not kill it, but you just kill it. Kill it again in 6 turns when you find your way back in. Like that one pisses me off, man. I hate that guy.
There's 2 different drafts that have Hydrapple plus Keldeo. One of them is Terra Keldeo, one of them is not.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it's a common core.
I think we have one.
Oh yeah, Trickavai and my team ZFG.
Yeah.
Now we also have Pecker.
Look at us go.
We also have Pecker on exploding usage. I think this makes sense. I think that guy is so insane. Yes. I mean, like you get a Pecker and some hazards up, and you kind of already won the game. Like it feels really, really silly.
So hard to kill.
That Pokemon just does another Pokemon that just does not die ever.
Yeah, you can just go Spadef, right? You think you're like, oh, like it's so strong, so physically bulky. I'm just gonna run a special attacker, but they run Spadef, and now you can't kill them.
You literally never need to invest. Yeah,
defensively, the typing is good.
Oh yeah, all you really needs like the Fizz stuff versus stuff like if you're spin blocking Iron Treads.
Which is fucking funny, by the way.
Which it can just spin block Earthquake Treads. So they run Earth Power for it most of the time.
And then you go Spadef, and the Earth Power is like 30%. Yeah.
Yeah, and you also need Fizz stuff for stuff like Terra Ogerpon Wellspring, but. I mean,
that or like if you want to be like I'm the Pecker that switches into Meowscarada kind of thing.
Yeah, you do that as well.
Yeah, so dude, funny. Such a silly mon. I don't know what it's been drafted with in DPL in particular, but like Ting-Lu type stuff. Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. I feel like that core is so fucking gross. Those Pokemon just don't die when they're together. They're super super strong synergistically. So it makes sense that guy's good, right? Hazards are good. Pekron is like. Probably, debatably, if it keeps going, the greatest spin blocker of all time, right? Like nothing fucking spins on that dude. I mean, we have a generation where like fucking Iron Treads and Great Tusk should like theoretically always be able to spin in some way. I mean, that, other than like the fucking Rotom Ghost matchup, but even then they just knock off through it sometimes. But yeah, speaking of Pecharunt, Hydrapple, we have a note who fellow Wi-Fi warrior, obviously picked up by you guys in DPL, has played really well in Team Canada too. So I guess you both have experience with who. They're known for playing like not just a hard stall like old like Theodore Monty like type stuff back in like Gen 8 and stuff like that, but pretty heavy semi-stall balance, you know, at the most extreme end of it.
He plays stall with one offensive guy.
Yeah, so pretty much semi-stall. Yeah, so is that something that you guys think is like something that's very, very good? And now, obviously, who is very good? Do you think it's a matter of who being really good at the game, being able to pilot that playstyle really well because he's super comfortable with it? Or is it like maybe SV isn't as, you know, super offense dominating as we thought, and this is a very, very legit playstyle? Thoughts? Yes, no?
I can start.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, who is good?
Yeah.
That play style is probably harder to pull off than offense. I think you need a structure to pull off that play style.
Be very prepared to, yeah.
So there's two things, and then third, nobody wants to play stall, right? They just want to play offense.
Oh yeah.
I
click the fucking button.
Recover. You're gonna, you want to have a, you know, a sequence, a structure. You want to have like some type of like sequencing to pressure on it. So it's probably harder to actually play the stall. So not a lot of players can do it. Obviously Theo, but I think semi stall, like if you just like raw stall, like it's easier to prep for. Like what who is doing, like he always has like this one offensive piece that makes it so good. And it's just been winning consistently. So I don't know, maybe some other players are gonna hop into that. I don't think like.
Now I don't know what he's been using in DPL, like team structure-wise, but I know with the team he has in BBR, it's like it is like big. It's semi-stall with like big beater being like hoop on bound, like find positions come in, that guy gets a free switch in or a free opportunity, and it just fucking kills something every time.
What he's using in DPL is a Meowscarada Keldeo, Threads, and then Fat.
Okay. So
it's a Hydrapple, which is Kintera, Keldeo. Keldeo Kintera is like an offensive piece, but then the defensive core of Hydrapple, Alamomola, let me pull up the team. There's a Pecharunt on there. It's like a lot of Pokemon that are very strong defensively.
And the funny thing is that seems like a more aggressive Who team than most of them too. Like a lot of them are much more semi-solid. That's almost like balance in my mind, right? Like leans more towards the balance end of it.
I think so, yeah.
The thing is, Who, like even if he sees a balanced team, he was mocking us in Team Canada. The mocks he was making was like stall. Like this guy was like bringing like max HP, max Fizz Defs in the race to like the mocks. Like, just like the offensive mocks you never expect to be like used.
Oh, for sure.
Semi-stall, yeah.
I remember he won like the big tournament that we host Wi-Fi wise for BBR. He won that. He knocked me out of the tournament. BBR Summer Scramble. He won that. I think he beat Mount in finals too. So like he beat a lot. He beat pretty much, you know, the best Wi-Fi had to offer. And he won with like it was like Terra Ogerpon, but every week it was like he was running like max Fizz Def Ogerpon, and it was always like double spikes with Tinglu. Like it was like very much so I'm getting 3 spikes and you're not stopping me. And again, had some offensive pieces, but everything was fucking max HP, max defense, max HP, max Def, and it worked. Again, he played super well.
He plays very smart around the hazard game. So he's like pretty much always winning the hazard game, which is so impactful in like longer drawn out games, which he's
once all your boots are getting knocked and you know.
And then he has double regen and you make no progress and like it's so impossible.
Yeah.
And like, we saw that in DPL as well, like versus Lax. He just made it to a point where Lax can't make progress. It's just impossible for him to make progress into the regen guys, and he just plays it super patient, right?
Yeah.
He has Boots Meowscarada, U-turning into Boots regen, Aloe, which is flip turning into, you know, regen Boots, Hydrapple, which will always get some chip that sticks.
And I think like even if you see his like certain playstyles too, or like he is going like these like Boots regen pivots, hazard stack, like, you know, don't get worn down by your opponent's hazard types builds. Even if you try and play super aggressively, he has on a lot of these teams like that offense mode where it's like, okay, if he identifies, okay, you have a great way of kind of forcing progress on me, I go a little bit more offensive in this game and bring in my Terra Hoopa and, you know, pick 1 or 2 because you don't have a dark resist that's good, or, you know, or you can't afford to bring this.
You have to defend a little bit, right? You can't just like attack and play for like mono stall.
Oh yeah, especially in Gen 9,
Yeah.
So I guess like, while this isn't like traditional stall, I mean, it might be like Gen 9's version of stall in draft, right? Because I don't know how viable hard stall is, but I mean, obviously it
About
fucking
as close
works.
as you
He's
can
been
get.
smoking. Yeah, he's been smoking everybody. So, well, doesn't Theo not like play a lot of speed because he tried to make hard stall and it just like didn't work
He was
consistently?
playing hard
Yeah.
intro on Team Canada.
Yeah,
Right.
you play like mono screen setup.
Yeah.
The complete opposite
Dude,
side.
you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. I think he also tried like bulky teams before Hydrapple was released, which I think is a major enabler to a lot of these team styles.
Yeah.
And
That's
before Petrant was released, so I mean,
I guess
he
it's
maybe gave
fair.
up before the biggest mons came in for
Gonna
those.
be
No,
back.
it's that
Yeah.
fucking meme, the dude with the pickaxe, and he's fucking walking away.
Yeah,
it's the
actually.
it's just fucking Hydrapple. It's Hydrapple and
gamblers quit before they hit it
Petrant.
But yeah.
But yeah, definitely some pretty fun stuff. Now, speaking of DPL, we can jump onto our game of the week. It looks like we have Skyhorse versus Bobber. Now, again, as someone who has not kept up spectating wise at all, can I get some groundwork for this matchup? What does it mean? Where are we at? Like, give me all the everything I should know and the viewer should know at home before watching this. Both of you guys.
So I guess this was by series. I can talk
Yeah.
about it.
Mhm.
It was 4-2 for Skrelp, the opposing team. So Bobbert, Scars is on my team. 2 games left. It's Jasha versus JCM Shadow, which is arguably best SV player. And so it's gonna be a tough game ahead, and like Skyhorse versus Bobbert. I think honestly decent matchup. Nothing else. I think Skyhorse has been somewhat of a losing streak lately, but we've been like working hard with him to get him on a winning column.
Mhm.
And that's where it is. I think that's a great use of team that we have, as I talked about earlier, having the hidden gems that are cheap. I think we got
Omega Beedrill, the Zergotry, the Tapu Bulu. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't mean this in any disrespect. This looks like some shit I would have watched on Wi-Fi. Like somebody drafted this shit on Wi-Fi in Gen 7, 100%.
What's bench? It's Infernape and then Polion on bench. Okay.
Oh, even more so.
And you're like, if you look at it, right? We were talking about innovation before. There's a Mega Beedrill. What does it not like? The Scizor, Skarmory, Lando, right? A lot of guys, right? So here, like the Skarmory, right? Skarmory, you get a free Zerkatry in. What switches into Zerkatry in the game? Nothing. Literally nothing. Even if you're off the shot, right?
Beast
So-
Chansey.
No, not
I
even
have an
Chansey,
answer
dude.
for
I
my
know, I
team.
know.
Right? So,
Chansey doesn't even do it.
right? So like nothing switches into. So you have like one of the better like fat
Special
breakers,
breakers, yeah.
and you get it for 6 points, and it comes in on a lot of the mons that beat it, like I don't know, Crobats, like all the flying types, right? All the steel types. Zerkatry is gonna take advantage of them. So that's kind of the structure we went for. And this game, like the whole game plan was like around Zerkatry. In a mock, Zerkatry is like getting every kill, most mocks, and then just like had a few support pieces around it.
Yeah, also the synergy goes both ways, right? Zerkatry, it struggles with faster offense. Beedrill kind of just demolishes that.
That's what
So,
it
like,
is.
yeah, you
This
cover
seems
both
very
with
good.
that. It kind of reminds me of like Mega Lopunny, Kyurem Black as a pairing from back in the day. I know that was a similar thought
This-
process back then.
That might be better, you know. You get it
Yeah.
for what, like for like 15 points.
They got their shit
Yeah.
for like 30 points. I got mine for
Yeah.
15.
Like, it's so impressive, right? It's so impressive, but it's 6 points. Like, so, like, are you really gonna like spend a lot of prep for a 6-pointer? No. And you see this game
Because you still got to prep for the Torn, the Hydra, you know, shit like that.
Yeah, that's
The
what you look
Infernape
up
and
for, right?
Polion on the bench, you know.
Yeah, I actually
Um,
used to draft Zerkatry so often. It's so fun to use.
It is him. I mean,
Love it.
you click the
Love
right
it.
button, someone's fucking dying. Like, it is
Yeah,
that,
I love
it's that
Scarf.
simple. Yeah.
Scarf just cleans so many games, and then like Z Hypnosis, I remember was
Yeah.
big.
Oh, dude, I love Z Hypnosis,
Such a
or you
fun
could do
win
Z
con.
Electric Terrain too, because then your Thunderbolts just killed
Yeah.
everything, not a ground
Yeah,
type.
yeah, yeah.
Like from
Yeah,
neutral. Like you didn't have to tail glow after that.
I think so far we've used the fat Zerkatry twice.
Yeah,
Just like max HP, some speed.
really like that set. Yeah, you never
Mhm.
really need special attack.
If you already killed everything.
If you want special attack, just run tail glow, right? Unless you like specs, right? So if you run specs,
Mm-hmm.
you can run like I don't know, you're gonna run like like a dazzling gleam, right? For like if your opponent has like a Lando plus a Thunder T, right? For example,
Mhm.
double immunity, you just run dazzling gleam, so you're gonna do like 60 to both
Yeah.
and break them, right, if they're defensive.
Or just like HP Ice plus Energy Ball, right?
Mhm.
Usually covers most things.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
it depends like if what you want to do, right? But
Yeah,
if
of
you're
course.
specs, you can have like I don't know, like you can run like there, like I said, a dazzling gleam and like do like 45% to a Steelix, something like that. And like if they, I don't know, it's a nice like that's like where you would run special attack, but
It's a
that's
crazy
fun.
progress for sure, yeah. Alrighty,
Yeah,
well,
so
let's jump into it. I do want to
yeah.
mention, too, for the people at home, obviously, you see guys like Zergatry. If you have just started watching Draft this gen or current gen, this is an Usum game, so Generation 7, there will be Megas, there will be Zemus. I'm presuming Z Captain-wise, it's Torn, I don't know, is it what, like Torn Hydra or Torn... Oh, no, it's probably Zerg, too, yeah?
And for them, Thundy. And... Who was the second one? Oh, Blacephalon. That was bad.
Blacephalon, who was not here. Oh. Okay. And then obviously that's a Mega Gallade on the other side, presumably. Mm-hmm. I guess not obviously, presumably a Mega Gallade. Yes, but yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. If you guys want me to pause at all, I have not seen this game, so I'm gonna go in blind, just kind of commentate off the rip. If you guys have something, if you have something you want to pause and do it, let me know. Obviously, you can see how quick we're going. Let's go ahead and we'll check it out. Check it out blind. So we see lead Beedrill, get the Mega off, probably get a U-turn off. Go ahead and Mega. Look, a strong knockoff into the Thundy.
My God.
See that it is Aya Pop. I miss the Super Berries, man. And Beedrill
knocked it 93%. Can you believe that?
Takes that really well. Getting a knockoff on that.
75.
What's happening?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude,
so the fucking berries. Yeah. Really fat Beedrill looks like too with Roost. That's pretty interesting. I'm assuming not packing U-turn too. Hard switching out there in Skarm, or just not wanting to take helmet. Either way works.
Yeah.
Lefty Zerk comes in, subs up, and despite there being 2 electric immunities, looks pretty fucking scary. It's faster than the Thundy, which looks like it's very SPDF. Grass Knot breaks the sub.
Faster than Thundy. Surely this will not be a common theme.
We knock out the Thundy as Zergatry gets a special attack boost. It's not like you can really go into your Nidoqueen either. You're just going to get outsped and probably popped by that HP Ice. Donphan's going to pivot in on the Glade. It does show to bulk up there, so pretty aggressive bulk up, knowing we're not just going to want to sack our guy. Ice Punch hits, Rocky Helmet, just get up our Stealth Rock, not too worried. We have probably the Z-Fly Torn Revenge consistently from this point. I guess the only scary thing is sub, but assuming we can break a sub at +1. Torn comes out immediately. Spirit Tomb. Not great flying resist on this team. Like, into Torn specifically, considering it's a Skarm.
Like, if you lost the Thundy earlier.
So, we're going to see a Pursuit. Out comes Hydreigon. Again, puts on a decent amount of pressure. Gonna Dark Pulse do nothing in the
Coughing Baby
SPDF.
versus Coughing Baby.
Coughing Baby on the left one. We Dark Pulse into the Glade. We are faster than the Mega Gallade.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna pause it really quick because, in my head, I was like, I don't know the matchups. So obviously, I'm not gonna backseat game and be like, he shouldn't be faster there, right?
I'll do it.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead, brother. You're in the tournament. I'm not for a reason. So in my head, I was like, SPDF Thundy, maybe we really needed it for certain, calcs into Torn, into Zergatry. Maybe it makes sense. I don't fucking know. The Gallade getting outspeed by the Hydreigon is crazy.
At Zazo directly. Meet to Zazo.
Take the floor.
You're gonna tell me you don't run 0 speed on everything? Like, be for real. You know I'm right.
Yeah, I mean...
Just look at this game.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if we can live hits, why outspeed, I guess? But the Glade just goes for a Drain Punch here on the Beedrill. Still does a shit ton. Shoutouts to Beedrill. Shadow Sneak is going to be able to pick it off, so bulk up 3. Torn comes out. I see Spirit Tomb pivot. Nice little Hurricane. We hit our Hurricanes. There we go. This Torn looks really strong here, man. It could not be him. That guy sucks. We're going to pivot right out into our Tapu Bulu here, reset the terrain. Just a Tapu Bulu to another mon that's just like, I don't know. I'm assuming. Oh Jesus, that did a lot of damage.
Here, this is Scarf Modest Feeny. So like, you should always just stay it in and Moonblast it. I don't really know.
Unless we're scared of potential Scarf Bulu, but
no,
it seems kind of tough.
First.
Oh yeah, I guess it's true. No, it does show. Gonna get on the Zergatry again, and once again, it's time to do a shit ton of damage. We sub up. Nice little safe mid ground.
Yeah, with the terrain as well.
You sub, and you get the leftovers.
Oh, we protect too. Oh shit. This guy's demon. He just gets all his health back. That was the literal definition of a free sub. Hidden Power Ice gonna do a shit ton. Earth Power, get a little bit of leftovers back, and then pick your KO the next turn. Sucker Punch, okay.
Next sucker for
Demon Sucker. Yeah. Gonna knock out the Nidoqueen here, get a special attack boost. Just, I mean, you outspeed or does the Glade outspeed you? No, it doesn't. I was gonna say, you don't know if it does.
It wouldn't have done
I was gonna say, it seemed to be really, really fat Glade, so it probably did not kill with Drain, or come close to killing.
Was like the Starfini, right?
Yeah, it would have brought it in range. But man, that's because I was like, okay, it was slow ass, what do you call it, Glade. So depending on how fast your Hydra was, maybe it's faster than the Zerg. It was not. Zerg was just faster than every Pokemon on that team, and three of them were, or two of them were just naturally faster than it, man.
Imagine it was Tail Glow Zerg. It literally won
immediately. Yeah, especially because we got like a fat knock into the Nidoqueen and a fat knock into the Thundy. Like those guys were chipped into range of +3 Zerg immediately.
No, they all died from full. They all died from full.
Do they did a +3 HP ice, really?
Yeah, because neutral HP I said like 43, I think.
I guess that's fair. Jesus, they're too strong.
If you think about it here, right? Like, yes, it was weak, right? Oh, why did you bring so much fat and everything else? But if you think about it, just like a Beedrill, Infernape, Torn, like there's a lot of offensive pressure that like outspeeds you, and like you want to take hits here, right? So that's where like we talked about the synergy earlier, where like it takes advantage of like
the 6-point guy who does a shit ton of damage has like paths opened up for him because of that. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see a Zerg showcase on the Zerkatry guy episode. That's pretty sick. He gives me a demon thumbnail. I get to put fucking like Zerkatry with broken on his chest.
You know, I managed to get a Zerkatry on the team.
And even if, so say hypothetically this team, I know you said it's good and it probably is great, but say hypothetically it's shit and just shits the bed, you'd be like, but remember that one game? It got like 4. This guy's the truth, man. He's broken. But definitely a cool one. And then lastly, we have Walk for the Week. This is one that I guess I can kind of explain. Good old Inversify. I was in a Little Cup League recently. I actually uploaded a movie for that, so you guys should all go watch it if you haven't done so already. But I played Inverse Week 2, I remember, and he beat me. He played really well. He had a cool team. And then I didn't really like pay attention to League. I kind of just like load up my games, play it, and then go on with my day. But then I looked at the standings in the season. I was like, yo, my GOAT Inversify. He has like 2 wins. What the fuck happened? Like, he started off 2-0, lost 6 straight. This league ended like a month and a half ago. Like a minute ago. I uploaded my video. They like announced, they're like, hey, shouts to Owen Finals for, you know, X Division, blah, blah, blah. Go check out his video. And then in general chat, he's like, yo, I forgot I was in this league. I muted this shit. And has not looked at the server since. My bad, y'all. Like, so they just forfeited him out because, like, I guess fucking Inverse is dead. I don't know. He just muted the server in the middle of the league and never checked it again. Like, and not even out of, like, malice or there was some drama or beef that happened in the league. He just fucking spaced out and was just like, I'm good. Like, my bad, y'all. Next time, you know? Again, cool team, and obviously, I mean, I ended up winning the league. He whooped my ass week 2. It wasn't close, so he probably had a good shot to do it. Inverse is very good at Little Cup. So, very funny. Shouts to Inversify. I think that shit's so funny. Just to mute. I've never seen anybody ever do that before. Just forget that they were in a league completely and mute a server. Like, forgetting is, man, you must have a lavish life. You talk about sitting inside and playing Pokemon all day. Not Inverse. He's on yachts with bitches. Like, he's going crazy. He just doesn't have time for Pokemon. Now he was too geeked about Philly winning the Super Bowl. That's what it was. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much the end of the episode today. Really, really fun one. LOQP, do you have any parting words before you leave, or anything you want to leave the fans at home?
Can I shout myself out?
Of course you can. That's the whole point.
Right. Well, first, thank you guys for having me on. It was fun. I've been watching the podcast. You guys are doing a great job. It's nice that you're just getting the community together. And yeah, thank you for having me on. It was a blast. And I've also started doing this thing. I was just helping guys with their dating lives in the community. I was doing like one-on-one meetings. And I've had some people get some results. So if you're interested in that, just feel free to shoot me a DM on Discord. LOQP as it's spelled, and I'd be happy to help. It's free for now.
Forgot you get in early. There you go.
Yeah.
Before the clientele's back, so I mean, shit, this might be it. But yeah, no, we appreciate you coming on. L5, do you have anything before we leave and tuck out for the night as well?
I mean, DPL watch through streams every Tuesday. Be there, be square.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and again, that'll all be linked down there. Obviously, I'll put LOQP's, or I mean, you could literally just grab it out of the description. It'll be right there. So you guys can obviously hit him up on Discord. L5, you'll be able to click on his name. It'll go right to his channel. Drop him a sub, obviously, for, you know, a ton of DPL content. And yeah, hopefully we'll be back. Let us know who you want to be the next guest. Hopefully, we're planning on getting back to bi-weekly. Just had busy schedules and busy lives throughout the last couple months or so since the last episode. So we're hoping to get back on track. This could even be the soft reboot. This is season 2. Yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Again, drop a like if you enjoyed, sub if you're new. Lets me know you enjoy the content so we keep it coming out. And yeah, see you guys next time. Later.